Alright, here we are back with this thing. If you remember right, this was that giant full tower case that I replaced power supply in. That's got that Asus P5LMX motherboard. We're going to pull that out because, well, it's junk. Oh, I mean, I guess it's not really junk, although it is net burst, so that technically qualifies it as junk. So, pull that out. I'm going to fix this optical drive, put it in the proper place, and I'm going to install this, which is actually an ECS motherboard. It's an Elite Group K7 SEM, which, yes, does have bad capacitors, but I don't really care because it's working for now. So, the battery's obviously bad. I was only able to get 768 megabytes of RAM to work with it, because it would not take two 512 sticks. If we go and reboot it. My PC speaker isn't really working all that well. Unknown CPU type. It's actually an Athlon XP, 1.3 gigahertz. Pretty nice. I think it's like a 2700 plus or something. So, not terrible. But I want to get it out of here and get it in that case. Unfortunately, I got no IO shield, which kind of sucks, but whatever. It might even be a standard IO plate. I may be able to find one sitting around here somewhere. Okay, as you can see here, this case actually has a removable motherboard tray, which is very useful. So it makes it much easier to pull that old board out, and it'll make it much easier to put the new one in. Taking a look at this, I've just done some standoff rearranging. I also kind of cleaned off the dirt. If we take a look here, this is one evidence of a bygone era. You can see P0 and P1 for Pentium 4 CPU holes. I'm not sure what other CPUs use those holes other than Intel's, but, you know, they're there. I'm sure somebody's did. Maybe some of the server chips that AMD was cranking out. Or maybe they're for, like, Itaniums or something. But, yeah. So this is a dual case, both ATX and AT. So you can see it's got all the different spaces for all the different types of boards. And there's a couple of little spots for plastic standoffs. Alright, there it is, installed. You can see I've added this, which is just some random piece of crap Ethernet card, because I noticed that this board does not have Ethernet on board. Which kind of surprises me, because most boards of the similar age did. But being an ECS board, it was probably just cheap crap. So, it really doesn't surprise me. But I'm going to go ahead and I'll throw this into the case. Alright, there's everything hooked up. I have the optical drive in the right place. Now it's in the top, so it doesn't look stupid. I've installed a hard drive. It's a bigger drive than I would have liked at 60 gigabytes, but, you know, it's there. It's reasonably sized for a system of this age anyway. I mean, it would have been a nice upgrade back in, you know, like 2001, but it's fine. It can stay in there. If I want to put a more appropriate drive, I'll do it later. Right now, I just kind of want to see this thing work. But the plot thickens on this, because if you look down here, you'll see a Realtek RTL 8139C. And if you think that that's a 10100 Ethernet controller, you'd be absolutely right. But, again, there's no Ethernet on this motherboard. So I'm not really sure why it's got an RTL 8139C chip, unless maybe it's disabled, or maybe there's a plug that it plugs into. That's front panel audio. So it's not there, obviously. Maybe this up here. Although I'm pretty sure that's an AMR slot, but I don't know. Maybe you can add an Ethernet port to this computer, but I don't really care. I'm just going to disable it. I do have to replace that CMOS battery because it's bad, but I figure at the very least for testing, it'll be fine. I can replace it at a later time when I finalize this and do whatever it is I need to do with it. I'm probably just going to install Windows XP. I think that's probably the prudent choice. Or Windows 2000. I'll have to see what drivers are available on the driver disk. So, but I'm going to pop the cover back on this, power it up, make sure that everything actually works. See if there's anything on my hard drive, which I don't think there is. Maybe DOS at best. Here it is. Now, it's all cabled up. It's time to find out that I've got half the front panel stuff hooked up backwards, and it'll blow up as soon as I power this up. Yeah, not immediately. That works. Heard a beep. It's very quiet. I'm going to set up here. And I'll set this up to my liking. Sees the hard drive, which is good. For whatever reason, the optical drive is a slave, but whatever. We'll leave it alone. Okay. Here's a look at the voltages. That's nice. Well, at least I spelled it right down there. I'm not sure why I was reporting a CMOS battery failure when the battery voltage is 3.3. I don't know. Maybe it's reading the wrong thing. Everything else looks okay. Doesn't look like there's very much in the way of overclocking capabilities, which is fine. We will save and exit. And we'll see what it does. Very clearly I'm going to have to clean up that on the monitor. I'm not sure why the beep is so quiet. It was like that with a piezo too, so floppy drive is good. Disk boot failure. Insert system disk and press enter. Now, I'm going to have to install an operating system. So, as far as I'm concerned, this is pretty much it. There's not much else to really say about it. It seems to be functioning. So, that's it for this video. Stay tuned. There will be more eventually. Yes, one last thing to do. Is to peel off all of these technologically inaccurate stickers. There. That's more like it.